Hello and welcome to another DayZ loot run video. Thanks for stopping by and checking it out. And if you do enjoy what you see, maybe you'd consider a subscribe, a like, comment. Any constructive criticism is welcome here. And again, we're on Spaggy's Vanilla, because it is literally vanilla, no mods, and no mods that I'm aware of anyway. But that community element means, you know, we can have a word with admins if there's any blatant cheating or the like. And this is an interesting spawn, this one, at Electro. There are a couple of reasons why you might want to go back. That's a pretty good spot, pretty good find straight off the rip. Why you might want to go back and check out that police shack, for example. But today, because of the position where I've spawned, straight off the rip, I'm thinking, should we go to Skalisty Island? Or should we attempt to go to Skalisty, I should say. Because it ain't far away. But we do need to dip into town and get some supplies. And Electro, on most servers, can be a bit of a shit show when you're talking about the main part of town where the PD, the fire department, and the hospital is located. There's also a couple of police shacks along the way that we could loot. But obviously the first thing we're trying to do is sort out our food and water situation. Let's just eat the pair that we spawned in with. And we'll try and be nice if we come across any other survivors. I mean, if we need their bones and rope for fishing, we may be nice with an ulterior motive. We'll see. Bit of net in there, we don't need that. Usually you get a spawn the other side of that industrial, and then you can kill the zombies in there for food, potentially, pick up some knives, better clothing. The spawn I just got, it throws you in closer to Electro itself, but it throws you in the deep end that if you don't get initially very lucky in these first few buildings, it's going to be hit and miss what your food and, you know, what your hydration looks like. But we're not a million miles away from the city centre of Electro itself, where there's a well, and there should be an abundance of food to get us by. I don't feel if you get this spawn, you have to fish. If I was going on a long 4 or 5 hour run, I want to try and go to Tizzy, for example. I want to meet my friend up there, or I died up there. I want to get a couple of fish down me, because 2 fish will literally sort you out for the entire run up to Tizzy from here, believe it or not. That's how OP fishing is in this game, if you didn't already know. Probably shouldn't be sprinting, as we've only just spawned in and we haven't had a lot of food, only the fruit that we spawned in with, but I get impatient. When we come in across little patches of grass like this, I do get a bit impatient. Okay, there's our first Z that we could potentially get something from. Come on in, sweetheart. Dispatch her with 3 blows. Nothing. But there is a chicken over there, but I'm not a fan of walking through this little part. You could check the cars for food. Getting a lot of netting. What's this? Fishnet day? But yeah, I'm more of a fan of coming around this way, because there are a couple of sheds and there's a police shack along the coast. A couple of military sheds, actually, we can hit up in a second. Maybe get lucky. Maybe get some better clothing with more capacity. Inventory space. Here's the first shed I want to hit up. You don't really get many people there in that tech building. You don't get many people often this side of Electro, to be fair. Oh, look at that. I nearly walked past pristine gloves because they were black. There we go. That's a nice early find. Don't have to worry about getting bloody hands from cutting up chicken or people, animals. Keeping my eyes peeled. This is the first loot run that I've done on the 120 update as well, 1.20. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. That denim skirt, does it always take up 3x1, or have they reduced that? That seems nice to be able to pick that up. It's quite small. We can turn that into pristine rags when we get a second. Some more gloves. You know what? We'll do that now. If we get banged up by zombies, we have to use our 2 uses of our bandage early doors. It's nice to have some pristine rags as standby. Because even though they're not disinfected, the better condition the rags are in, the less chance of you getting a wound infection. Not to say that you won't, but pristine is obviously the best. Here's our first police shack. We're hoping to find some ammo, maybe even a gun. Or if we find it completely empty like this. Okay, an M-lock mag, which has got 8 rounds in it, and it's only worn. That's pretty good. If we can find an M-lock around the PD. And then we take a little path through this industrial area, and I'm hoping to address the food situation in the first set of residential buildings we go to. And it won't be long before we get to them. There's a quilted jacket, it's in bad condition. We'll take a sewing kit though. So if we like the colour of that jacket, which we don't, we could have used the sewing kit to improve its condition back up to worn, but I'm just going to leave it for now. There is a military container that I often forget. There it is. On this left-hand side of this industrial. Just this one here is the only one you've got access to, next to this shed. And then we're going to head back over there where there are another military shed or 2. Military container, sorry. So in this one, a gas mask. If we were thinking about doing a gas run to Riffy or Pavlova military, that would have been a nice early find. But it's not interesting me. You usually get a few Zeds around here, so if you go sprinting through these containers, willy-nilly, don't be surprised if you aggro 2 or 3 Zeds that you didn't see hiding behind the containers, and all of a sudden you've got 3 or 4 on your ass, so be careful. As always in my videos, I'll always tell you to try and keep them isolated, keep it one-on-one. Anybody with a basic knowledge of melee, how to block, how to time the double strike that the zombies will often put on you, should be able to. We'll take the 9x39, but well, to be honest, I'm not even going to take it. I don't think we're going to find a VSS down south or an S-Val. So we keep this Z coming at us, get in the stance ready, get my power attack ready. When they're in range, nice free hit. Second one before they can even recover and swing. We'll take a battery. But just keep your head on a swivel here, because like I say, look, there you go. There's one there, but there's none over there other than the one the other side of that guard shack. So we can fight this one in isolation. Decision to make about the bag. Food, excellent. Bag is in a horrific colour. Absolutely horrific. You're going to be able to stand out a mile away. But I'm going to take a risk for now. Until we find something better, I'm going to wear this ugly ass red dry bag on my back, which will obstruct my ability to look behind myself. See? But gives us a lot of carry capacity. So I check this guard shack. Now we're a little less rushed because we picked up another sewing kit. Because we picked up that food, we're a little less rushed. Let's take this Z out because there's no hiding from this aggro. 3 of the best. Oh, and they're going to hold out for a 4th. Didn't drop me anything. I'm going to move my battery down here, but I'm going to keep my bandage in my pants. Because if I need to drop the bag in a hurry, I want the bandage to stay on me. And if people shoot you in the back as well, let's say we pick up a stab vest, someone shoots me in the back with a 9mm, 380, something survivable, a 22, it could still ruin what's in my backpack or the backpack itself. So, you know, let's keep the bandages on us handy. There's not a lot of Zeds around here. There's usually more than this. So I'm thinking we're on someone's trail. This is good. And I'm going to empty it out, ready for when we hit the well. Don't drink this water, you will get sick. So empty it out. And put it in your bag, ready to fill. Don't have to waste time emptying it around the well the Capris. Oh, look at this. I'm going to take them. Some people would say they're a shocking colour. I quite like them. But out here, we have a pristine raincoat, which we can turn into pristine rags. We can add them to the 2 that we've already got. We've actually got a full set of rags. We'll leave one for somebody else. And we've got a chicken. Oh my god. The chicken's gonna get me killed, yeah? Shit. If you get in a situation like this, you might have to contemplate trapping the Zeds, okay? So just open the door. Play a little ring around the roses with them. You've got to get lucky sometimes with how many you trap. I'm concentrating on Leather Jacket guy because I've hit him the most. Oh my god, he is a tank. Took far too much damage than we needed to there. We get a coke out of it though. I think there's a trap zombie around here somewhere. The ironic thing is the chicken has calmed down. And we can just pick it up now. Oh, so someone's been trapping zombies good and proper. So remember I said there doesn't seem to be a lot of Zeds around here than what there is normally. I think we're on somebody's trail. There's your evidence. Let's get a bit of hydration down us. We'll also get some calorific content from this soda. Yeah, a bit of a shit show with the Zeds there, but it happens to the best of us. We got out of it. T-shirt a little bit banged up, but obviously we're going to drop that at the earliest convenience. But don't be surprised if you run across someone in these parts, because everybody is going to want to hit the hot spots, okay? There's the fire station, but there. The hospital is up there through the trees. But 9 out of 10 times, people who know this map at all, anybody who knows the map, will want to hit the PD and the well, that are pretty much next to each other. I'm going to get these chips down us. We could go all red with the sweatshirt. I mean, if somebody's got to the PD before us, they've got a gun. They're obviously okay at trapping zombies because they've done that. We don't have to sip from the well now. We've drunk a soda and a beer, so we can judge it. Does it look clear enough to quickly dip in and fill our bottle? Chug a bottle. It's badly damaged. Check up there. That's some people like to camp in that apartment. It overlooks the well, and it's an easy headshot then when somebody like me just fills their bottle. Plus these buildings by here. If it happens to you, though, it happens to you. It's one of those things. People like camping wells. So I always come round here. Trying to stay moving. I'm looking into any top overlooking first story building that might be an easy headshot on me. Line of sight. There's nothing in the shed we want. I'm going to risk filling my bottle so that I can take a full bottle of clean water with me and we don't have to come back to this well. Right, that's job done on the well. Like I say, we'll try and talk to someone if we find them. back door's open, which would suggest... Look at this guy. Chasing me. Gone the wrong side, son. I always come to this apartment first, next to the PD, because sometimes people are unaware it spawns police loot. See, there's the hat there, but it looks like the person whose trail we are on knows what they're doing. Where's this dude? There he is. Where you going, buddy? He's already got a banged up rig, which is annoying. It might even be ruined now. No, it's only badly damaged, so it's better than nothing. Also, don't sleep on this scaffolding next to the PD. Again, it looks like our friend... Oh, he has slept on it, okay. Oh god, he's trapped a zombie on the roof there. Right, take what you need. Get off the roof. Get off the scaffolding. You're an easy target, obviously. I'm not going to go in the PD straight away. We've just picked up a Scorpion with rounds, with a couple of mags. We only want one of the mags, the pristine one. Can't go in that alley, okay. So I'm going to use this build in here. Remember, we've done okay with our food and drink early doors. We found a couple of cans of soda, beer, can of tuna. So I'm just going to come in here, take a breather, sort my stuff out. Empty this damaged mag, bin it. There were 2 shots in this one. But pristine Scorpion, pristine mag, pretty nice. Only got 5 shots though, so you're going to have to keep it on single fire to preserve the energy. But at least we have 5 shots in a gun. We'll keep it hidden as well. We're not going to put it on our back. And while we're here, we're going to chop our chicken up so it takes up less room in the inventory. We're going to keep the bones that it provides to potentially turn into knives or a knife or bone hooks. 1 bone hook and a knife. And look at that. Nowadays, the chickens, after the update, yield a lot more meat. So they're well worth killing now. Get a couple of chickens, you might have 12 chicken steaks. Okay, there's another Z. Ah, bastard, I haven't got a knife. I should have made the bone knife, actually. I'm going to make the bone knife, because with the bone knife I can pull off a stealth kill. And with the stealth kill I can protect that stab vest that policeman is wearing, that police Z. While I'm here, I might as well turn this into an improvised hook so that it takes up a lot less space in the inventory. Instead of 2x2, it'll only take up 1 slot. And it's done. Right, put that down there. Now if all goes well... Where's he gone? There you go. That's a shame. The stab vest looked pretty good to me. We kill him, get up close, and it's ruined. Maybe that's something they've changed. Let's go and investigate the PD. Shut the doors behind us. So we would get a good... a shitty M-lock is better than no M-lock. Always load up what you've got before you move deeper into an area. Oh, look at this. Sod's law that now. Take the bullet out of the gun. Damaged one is obviously better. Please put the bullet in the gun. Even though it's damaged, the mag is worn. It's going to suppress us. That's a nice little zombie killer, that. If we went onto a military area, you know, wanted to take out the Zeds. No shotgun. Trap Zeds. We're going to deal with the Zeds because obviously you kill a police Zed, you're going to get an opportunity of police loot. Bit of 545 in the pants. Perhaps that was overlooked by the person who trapped the Zeds because, you know, they trapped the Zed in the room and then just moved on without loot in that room. I don't know what they were doing, to be honest, because now we have a spare mag. And it's worth putting on full auto now because that will spray someone down. As long as we don't miss every single shot, that will spray someone down. 11, 12 bullets, whatever it is we've got. So moving on. What is concerning is there are trapped zombies but left guns behind. Like they've just left a pristine Scorpion with a mag in it. So that tells me, okay, they're happy with the guns they've got, maybe. You know, which could be a bit concerning. I'm not a real fan of the police jacket, so I'm not going to pick that up. This isn't you. If you've watched any of my other loot run videos before, you know this isn't usually a fashion parade. Bit of a stupid place to fight a zombie right in front of a PD, I grant you. To fight two PDs, to fight two zombies, brilliant. Now that one looks like he's already taken a slap off someone. People sometimes overlook that car, but it doesn't look like our friend has, who we're trailing. Guy on the roof, twitching. The last point of interest for us before we potentially, well, we will go on towards Skalisty Island. So I'm pretty sure I haven't included a loot run which ends at Skalisty Island. And Electro is pretty much the best spawn to do that from. Just looking for evidence of... Our friend probably came up here. Most people would go to the hospital after the PD, unless they went fire department, hospital, PD last. It's another option. Our melee weapon is getting close to spoiled, so that is something we've got to keep an eye out from. But I know it's a risk again, fighting Zeds in the absolute open like this. You want to make sure every shot is a clean one. But there's a chance of them dropping bandages, medicine, any hospital loot. So I don't mind having a fight with a Z or two. There we go. Full bandage. Tetracycline if you wanted it. I don't plan on getting sick. So I've got enough experience in the game that I would like to think I'm not going to give myself food poisoning or the like. Blood collection kit. I mean, we could take that. If we find an IV start kit, we could take some of our own blood and then fix it up ready to go. Scrub pants, pristine. Now under here, I'm going to do a little sneaky drag of my Scorpion into my hands so it's silent. Because some people do like camping these hospital stairs. No, that's as far as I'm going to look. Put my full bandage up there. So it's close, ready to go. that zombie will only drop a filter, a gas filter, if you kill it. It has the possibility. Now I could go and kill those other 2 Zeds and hope for a drop. Oh god, look at this one. How far he's aggroed on me. Right. Now I'm heading down towards the other police shack that I know about. So we're hoping to get some more 380 for the Scorpion. Maybe a better M-lock, or at least some more 9mm for the M-lock. There are a couple of industrial sheds which we could search to look for a replacement for our hatchet as our melee. We've still got our bone knife if we need to cut up food or rags, open tins. See, we could just saw the top of the police guard shack then. Usually quite a few Zeds around here, construction type Zeds. So we're going to take it cautiously. There you go, there's one there. See if I just run through there, I aggro him. Well, it's just the one though, we don't mind. One-on-one fight with a Zed, no issues. Keep your eyes peeled. Real high traffic area potentially, this one. Handcuff keys. Oh, look at that. If it would let us grab it. Box of 9mm. But I'm not going to fill up my Glock here. Now let's try another trapping exercise. 2 Zeds. Oh shit. Picked up a cut. That's okay. Not panicking. Where did that other one go? He just seemed to give up on his mate that I trapped in the thing. Again, not smooth. Not smooth. Oh, here he is. Hatchet's definitely on its way out. There's no doubt about it. I was hoping he would drop food. That's why I killed him. Just have a quick butcher's in these in case we see a crowbar. Something I can use as a melee weapon to kill the Zeds. That was smoother. Duct tape's handy. Fix up equipment, etc. Alright, I'm gonna dip. We've made enough noise around here. Jump the fence. I'm even going to ignore that guard shack back there. Now on the way out of Electro, there is that milli tent there. I mean, I'd be absolutely shocked if I found anything of interest there. And it tends to be a death trap because a lot of fresh spawns, and especially people who are new to the game, they see a military tent and they wet their pants. So it is a death trap, and you'd be lucky if you get a new pair of boots there. Maybe you might get a field vest, but if you're already wearing a stab vest, why would you want a field vest? So I would rather just dip out of town, keep my head on a swivel, see if I can see anybody. Remember, we've got to fill up our M-lock. So first building we get. Oh god, this priest. Jesus. Not today, please, Vicar. If you don't mind. Got places to be, man. People to see, maybe. So let's clear this building. Not so cautiously, but look at that. Salty sticks. Let's take a couple of minutes. Breather. Again, sort out our inventory. Keep on top of your inventory management, folks. That's a big tip. If you don't take anything else away from this video, keep things where you know you are. Utility and food down here for me. I'll just listen in a second. Thought I heard something. paper in case we want to start a fire. Fill up our M-lock mag to the max. Okay, so now we've got a Scorpion with 11 or 12 shots in it, and we've got a full M-lock. We've also got spare for that M-lock, but it's a damaged M-lock, so we are wary of that. We'll check these few houses, because a tin of food now would be clutch. It's not the end of the world, because we're not a million miles away from the next town we can loot up for food. But it is the last town before Skalisty. Look at that, someone's dropped paper. I'll take that. We're also going to swap out the pants, because we would much prefer to be rocking. Some black pants. I'm going to collect some blood, because if we can come across an IV kit, start kit, we can then combine it with this blood bag. And if we got in a gunfight, or we were attacked by wolves, or swamped by Zeds, see, we've only lost a little chunk of our blood, and we're going to start regenerating that now. And it won't take long to go right back up to full. But if I got in a gunfight, badly injured, down to red blood, if you ever get as badly damaged as flashing red blood, then you could pass out. Okay? And you don't want to pass out, because then you're vulnerable. But if you pop an IV start kit onto that bag of your blood and then give yourself a blood transfusion, if you've lost a lot of blood, say you're in yellow or red, then you'll recover that blood quicker. Get some salty sticks. We've only got one more residential building that I want to check, and then we're going to head to Kamishovo. And I think there are a couple of buildings on the way that I will check on the way to Kamishovo. Oh, actually, there are a couple of other residentials as well. Well, that's a nice find. Leather kit. We can improve our stab vest. We can put it back up to worn. And we'll still have a use or two left on our leather kit as well. 2 uses, I believe. That stab vest is going to protect us a lot more now before it ruins. If we get shot out. Put that down with our other utility items. And on the way out, see, there's a little bit of industrial. There's another police guard shack on the way that I'd forgotten about, and I've just remembered. But on the way out of Electro, there are a couple more residential buildings down here, which may spawn food, sodas. We've got our bottle of water on us though, so we're not worried about hydration. And we're not a million miles away from the next town. Once you leave Elektro, the next town up the coast is Kamishovo, or Kami as a lot of people would call it. I'm pretty sure I started one of my loot route videos from Kami. Maybe ended up in Staroy, somewhere like that. So if you've watched that video before, you'll certainly notice Kamishovo. And really, the only place in Kamishovo we want to hit is the PD. The well is right outside the PD. So that's the only real point of interest. I mean, if we're desperate for food, if we don't get lucky along here, maybe we dip into a few houses hoping to find a tin of food. If we find rope, or we find maybe a dead player who didn't like the Kami spawn, maybe we do a bit of fishing, catch a fish before we go over to Skalisty. There's more rags if we would have needed them. Hockey helmet, but no food. We're not having much luck finding melee weapons either. And our hatchet is about to go. But it might not be a bad idea to fight a couple of zombies on the way out of Electro, to see if we get lucky with a food drop. There is a guard shack here, as well as a green guard shack here. And there's an actual police shack down the end of this little bit of industrial. And there's usually 2 or 3 Zeds along the way. So you can either creep past them, or if you're like us and you want food, you might want to actually kill them. There's another chicken. I do forget we've got the 4 chickens on us as well, haven't we? 4 chicken breasts. So If we're desperate, we can cook that before we go over to Skalisty. White sweater. Horrific colouring, really, isn't it? Not exactly blending in. But better insulation. And that t-shirt was banged up from the Z, so we move on. Well, this looks quite quiet. Is that something dead in the road down there? Or is it just a bit of grass, a bit of growth coming up for... Yeah, okay. We might have company then. There's not a lot we can do about but fight this Z. Chance of food. Chance they might drop something useful. One Z on his own. Not going to make a meal of it. Just going to dispatch, and he gets nothing. Here's another one. I'm not going to be able to really avoid. So stay behind the wall if someone's there sniping. Make yourself an easy target if you come too far out into the open. So you don't want to do that. Bloody hell, man. They're not dropping much, are they, these Zeds? Get a can of tuna off one, didn't we? Let's just hit this police shack up. See if we can get some more 9mm or 380. I'm wary that door is open, so I was just keeping an eye out. Anyone home? Nope. Looks looted to me, though. We're going to leave Electro. Goodbye, Electro. Sometimes you get a dynamic train spawn on this stretch between Electro and Kami as well, where you can get food, good items of clothing, knives, melee weapons, all sorts. It's unfortunate it doesn't look like there is one this time. There's some more pristine pants if you wanted to get yourself some more rags. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to sprint as much as I can up to Kamishovo. If you're newer to the game and your vital statistics look a bit like mine do at the moment, they're all in the white but they've got a chunk missing, then you might not want to sprint because you want to preserve your energy and make sure those downward arrows on your food go down as slowly as possible. But I am going to drink the water while we're out in the open and relatively safe. You know, you can never say you're 100% safe at any time in DayZ. Someone could be just sitting on the hill, ready to snipe us. There's not a lot you can do about that. But relatively safe out in the open, so we drink our water. At least we haven't got to worry about being dehydrated before we get to the well in Kamishovo. And it is a bit of a stretch. It's a bit of a jog, which is broken up nicely if you get a dynamic train spawn around here. It literally spawns around this area if you're lucky enough to get it, but we're not. There also are a couple of fishing boat spawns on the beach, and that's where you can get cans of soda, real fishing rods, actual fishing hooks if you're lucky. Maybe you get a bag that's not as horrendously red as the one we've got now. That's the point. I think I could fix my bag up, couldn't I? What condition is it? Damaged, yeah. Maybe it's something we do. Maybe we just hang on until we go to Skalisty and hopefully, if we don't die before we get there, maybe we can find a hunting backpack over on the island. It is a great place. If you were planning on doing a big run, you wanted to go quite far inland, and you spawn in Elektro or you spawn in Kamishovo, where we're going next, the fact that you're so close to Skalisty Island, where you can find CR rifles, tundras, I'm sure Mosins can spawn on there, hunting knives, hunting jackets, hunting pants, you know, all really good tier equipment that would help you. You get shotgun ammo, Mosin ammo, 308 ammo, 7x39 SKS ammo. you know, it's well worth taking the 5 or 6 minutes I think it will take us to swim over. Now, there it is in the distance. That's Skalisty Island. Okay, you can probably just about make out when we get a bit closer. There's like a radio tower there, there's a castle, and you can sometimes make those out once you get close enough. And there's Kamishovo. So you see, it's not that far from Electro. See, we can still see the lighthouse of Electro, the industrial that we came through the church. And there's Kamishovo itself. We're going to hug the left-hand side of town. When I'm coming from Electro, I like to approach it this way. If I spawn on that beach over there, I'm supposed to be hitting up the. Oh, I did hit the one boat up. I'm not going to bother to run across that one. I mean, if I was red hunger or red hydration, I probably would check every single boat, hoping to get a soda, but we'll give it a miss for the purposes of the video because we're 40 minutes in already. I anticipate this one to be maybe an hour and a half, maybe it's 2 hours. Because there's not a lot we're going to be doing in Kamishovo, and then we're going to dip straight up the road, and there's a couple of houses, couple of sheds opposite Skalisty Island, and we may cook our chicken there because it's nice and isolated, pretty much in the middle of nowhere. I'm saying that, but the last time I was there on, I think this server, someone had a base, or they had certainly gated off with a 4-dial code lock one of the sheds there, and I think they were keeping a car there, and there was actually a working truck. I think it was missing its battery and spark plug, but it was a real drivable truck. Oh, look, there's a zombie on the roof over there. So someone could be in town. Someone has spooked that zombie. They don't start on the roofs. People being nearby them throw them up onto the roofs, glitch them there, so we've got to be wary. Person might not be friendly. And I don't really want to waste my M-lock ammo. Shit. Oh shit. Oh, they had a ruined hat, which indicates they were shot in the head, headshotted. And there was loot put out to the side of the body, glow sticks, disinfectant, indicating someone was sorting the loot that they wanted or didn't want. We'll take the steak knife, even though it's ruined. It's better than nothing. This place can be a bit of a shit show. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to take a risk here. It is a risk. But I'm showing you how I want to show you how I would normally play. I mean, that up there is a great spot to camp the well. I think I said that when I did the Kamishovo playthrough, the loot run. There's a compass if you needed a compass. Oh look, they've opened ammo in the middle of the road, which is odd, but okay. What I don't want to do is cut this body up and get sniped, but I'm going to take a chance, because this body will give me guts, and I can turn those guts into rope, and we've already got bone hooks, so we then have the full ability to fish. Do this quickly. So I'm glad I picked up that steak knife, because I don't have to use my bone knife or my hatchet. Go away, zombie. I'm going to keep my gun away, because although we know a murder has gone down, if the murderer has got anything about them Unless they're sort of a spawn town camper, they would have long gone. But shit. I've aggroed a zombie there. The element of surprise has gone. If anyone is nearby, I'm bringing them here where it's... trying to bring them here anyway, where it's quieter. Any movement in the PD? No. Bringing this zombie inside. Go away. I don't want to waste time fighting a zombie when there's potentially a killer on the loose. Oh, look at that. Pristine stab vest. And more drop paper. Oh shit. 380, that is massive. For God's sake. Quickest way to do this when you've got a spare mag, fill up this mag first. I know it's the worn mag and we've got a pristine one in the gun. Say the full Scorpion is ready to go now. Now we'll put the pristine one in. Stab vests all over the place, man. So I'm not going to use the well, because I think using the well is going to be too risky. Easy for somebody to be holding an angle. Particularly from that bloody green mustache, I always find. I don't expect anything to be in here. I think they missed that 380 by accident. Yeah, he's heard us, Mr. Z. I mean, it could be our boys who've got the little base on opposite Skalisty Island. They could have been just driving through, seen us freshy. Decided to make mincemeat of them. Bit cruel if you ask me. They didn't look like they had a lot that freshy. But, God rest their soul, they provided us with rope. I am not going to go on the roof. Make myself a potential huge target. I hope no one is lining us up for a headshot. So this would be the time to take it. Still didn't ruin. He hasn't dropped anything. There's no fruit around the tree though. Sometimes when a player has been round, there's fruit back there. Oh, shut up. This is the way I like to leave town if I'm going to Skalisty. Bit of powdered milk, great find. I heard this chicken just then when I was fighting that Z. Take a bit of a risk here, and I'm going to skin this outside because some people will run past you assuming what am I doing? assuming that you would skin a chicken inside. So some people would jump the fence and run straight into that house and completely miss you sitting in the corner here. Sometimes hiding in plain sight is a pretty good tactic in DayZ, I have found. I'm going to take the bones because they can be bone knives. And now we've got 8 chicken breast we can cook up when we're opposite Skalisty. Now I want to leave Kamishovo A in one piece and B without aggroing. I want to say any Zeds. I mean, we might get unlucky, might jump a fence and there's a Z by here. Then you just got to fight it, but there we go, there's one there. There's fucking Zeds on roofs everywhere though. So I'm guessing the people that will come through. Fuck. Didn't play that very well. Let's deal with this chap. These folks might still be back there checking out the industrial. Fuck. I've heard one aggro behind me as well. So I knew I had to deal with him quick before this one was up my back. Ooh. Stood still too long there. Got away with that. Now, we will cook the chicken because I want to get rid of it. Right, that's been dropped. Police jackets don't spawn there. So there are people in the vicinity. They could be the people that had a base either on Skalisty or close to Skalisty. And we may find that out now in the final half an hour or so of this video. But our next target, obviously Skalisty is the end goal. You can just make out the radio tower now as we're looking at Skalisty. There's a few houses up here like I discussed. And we don't have to cook the chicken. We've got this powdered milk. Okay? Get it down you. As we drop into yellow food as well. We just dropped into yellow food. We could cook it over on Skalisty. If we clear Skalisty and then we're reasonably sure there's no one at home, we can cook the chicken over there. There's plenty of houses to choose from. We're back in the white for food, and there's a well over on Skalisty, so I'm not concerned at all. I'm not concerned about, you know, potentially dying of thirst or starvation. It's not going to happen. We've got 8 chicken steaks on us and we're approaching Skalisty Island, which has a well on it. So if you're in this position where we are now, leaving Kamishovo, heading towards Skalisty, and you're in the white, I know we just dropped into the yellow for food, but we necked the powdered milk. Oh my god, massive lag spike there. We necked the powdered milk and the pashka or the pate, whatever it was, and we're fine again. Again, I'm only sprinting for the purposes of the video to try and keep it down as short as humanly possible. You know, I know exactly what I'm doing when it comes to this area of the map. If you're pretty new to DayZ, you're probably not going to spawn in Electro and get to Skalisty in an hour. You're probably not going to do that. But to be fair, we're in pretty good shape. We've got a Scorpion with a full mag, spare full mag, 6 shots. M-lock suppressed, full mag, 17 spare shots. You know, if there are people we're taking on in a gunfight who've got big boy guns, we're in trouble. but we can have a go with what we've got. After 55 minutes of from when we've spawned in, having a stab vest, gloves. Why didn't those shoes go on? Okay. Thought I stole those dead person's shoes. We've got the ability to fish with the bone hook and the rope. But yeah, you leave in Kami. We can't even see Kami anymore. You're just following the road up the coast. And if I cut over onto this left-hand side of the road and I start scanning ahead, maybe you've got good eyes like me when I've got my glasses on anyway. I can make out a shed in the distance on the right-hand side. That's where we're headed. So again, it's not far from Kamishovo. It's about the same distance as it was from Electro to Kami. You go in the same distance again north. But we are keeping... Oh, there's a gas canister there if you wanted it. Someone's pulled that off the car. Vandals. So I'm cautious now. When I'm approaching... Normally, especially if you're playing a server that doesn't allow base building. Maybe you're playing the day 1 servers or 0 servers, for example. I'd approach this area here. I'd be happy to set off fireworks by here because it's very rare that people will go there if you can't build a base. But if you can build a base, it is a car spawn up by here, so it's a great place to nab yourself a car if you can find all the parts in Electro, Kamishovo, and then store it here because it is pretty out of the way. Even if you're a fully geared guy, you're going to have to come quite a long way to shoot open or blow up the gate and take the car. I'm going to pull my gun. There is another chicken around here as well, but we don't need 12 pieces of chicken. We're going in, gun out though, because we've had signs of activity back in Kamishovo. There's nothing in the shed we can use as a melee still. Did I hear a chicken? I always look up this boardwalk because that's the way I run to Skalisty. We'll show you in a second. And that's the way I run back from Skalisty to the beach to get over to Skalisty. Check the bus for food, knives, only shoes. Get stuck on the bus. Have to go back this way. Great. Inertia. Zombie just chilling. Good sign. Nothing in the shed. Let's go and clear this 2-story building. Couple of pairs of pants. Nothing else. That's the shed that is sometimes based off. I can't remember if it was this Spaggy server. No, it wasn't. Or it's been raided, but there's no foundations there. Couple of Zeds just chilling, which is a good sign. Glow stick, no good to me. But nothing in these sheds, which to me again suggests someone was here. Person or persons who are yet to be identified. There's a little shed up there, but I can't be bothered, to be honest with you. We're just going to go for Skalisty now. It looks like we are going to have to fight this chap. He's just in our way. He's not going to put up much resistance. And remember, back near the bus, you could see a little boardwalk which led down to the beach. That's where we're going. Now, if you were lucky enough to pick up an EpiPen, it would be absolutely fantastic because this is one of the longer swims. I think it is the longest swim you can do because you can only swim to here and you can swim to Prison Island further down south. Now, Prison Island swim, if you go off from the right spot, even without an EpiPen, as long as you've got about 80% stamina or more, it should only take you about 2 minutes to get over to the prison, 2 or 3 minutes. This one will take you about 6, I believe. So it's not ideal for the purposes of the video. You can fast forward the swimming bit, that would be my advice, if you're going to watch this whole video right through to the conclusion. And this is probably the best part coming up, showing you what you might get over on Skalisty Island and the best way of looting it, in my opinion, the quickest way to loot it. But yeah, the swimming in between is going to be a pretty boring part. There's another bottle there. I'm going to take that, actually, because if we do find a rifle and a scope over on Skalisty, we've got duct tape, we could make a bottle suppressor now with our spare pristine bottle. But here we go. I'm going to try and time it, actually, for science. We're going over exactly on the hour mark, okay? This video should be an hour long. Pretty sure I pressed record straight after I spawned in Electro. So obviously we swim flat out, and then you can only swim at the slower pace like this while your stamina is regenerating. And our stamina is running at about 80-85%, so it's about as good as you would want it to be to reduce the time. And do you see the area that I picked? I picked, for me, the shortest route, straight between these 2 rocks, and just keep your character in a straight line. Don't even touch the mouse if you're playing on PC. All I'm using now is W to swim forward, and while my stamina is full, I'm obviously holding down shift to swim as fast as we can. Notice you go into dark blue or light blue or dark blue temperature because you're in the cold water, and your health will start going down. But as long as your swim is only 6 to 10 minutes, something along those lines, or certainly every time I've done this swim, and I've done it now maybe 50 plus times, if not more, my health has never gone down, so it's never been chunked when I got to the other side. Okay, coming over the top of the rock there, you might actually come out of the water. I was a bit blasé as well. I didn't even zoom in with my eyesight to see if I could see anyone on the beach on the other side. I just assumed there's no one there. The other thing I always assume is, why would people shoot you while you're in the water unless they're real nasty bastards and they're just doing it for fun and kicks. It is a bit silly shooting someone in the water because you'll never be able to get the loot. Most people will wait. The most dangerous time of a swim is when you get out of the water the other side. That's why we're going to do it in a specific way. And I am, as our head comes up above the surface, I am glancing with my eyes left and right. And if I seen anyone on the shore on the other side, maybe holding a gun, probably would be time to start talking to them now. Trying to make friends with them, try and make a deal. Look, when I get out of the water, please don't shoot me. I'll give you everything, man. I'll come out with my hands up. See, we're swimming, pretty much we're in the water right opposite the castle as well, which is ideal, because that's the first place we're going to loot. After we have wrung out our clothes. If we wring out our clothes, our temperature should come up, hopefully back up into the white, and that will stop us shivering potentially. And if we're creeping around a building that we know is occupied, we do not want to be shivering. And when we cook our chicken, which we could have done back then, but I knew we were going to get wet with the swim, so if I was doing this run now and I was going to carry on the run when I swim back across, I would probably cook back in that log cabin where we just were. See, I'm going to let my stamina build up now, and then we've got enough stamina to get out of the water in full sprint. Okay, so if someone's holding an angle on us, at least we can make it difficult for them to get that shot. Alright, I dip into the first tree I can see that gives me some decent cover. You can't wring out working gloves. You can certainly wring out your sweater. We've gone back up to light blue temperature, notice. And our health bar is now going back up, and notice we haven't actually lost a chunk of our HP. Take off our capri pants. And look, our temperature's back up to white already. And we haven't finished drying out our pants or our beanie, which we're going to do. So there shouldn't be any shivering issues. But if you were concerned, you could go over to a quiet part of the island, this sort of side, and get a fire going if you wanted to. Get a little quick fire. You could even cook a couple of the chickens. If you don't want to sit there and cook 8 on a sharpened stick, maybe you literally only make a fire to dry off your clothes completely. You could do that, as long as you've got plenty of knives. Make a hand drill kit. It's not an issue. If you're not rushing through, you know, like I am for the purposes of the video, if you're enjoying your time over on Skalisty, why not do it? If your clothing was utterly terrible, so that no matter how many times you rinsed it out, wrung it out, sorry, you're still shivering, then you might need to do it. Another chicken by there if you wanted the food. But I tend to come around here, okay, hug it, see that little taco stand, that little convenience store, whatever you want to call it. I always hit that first, but I'm scanning ahead. Can I see any Zs? No, but I think I just heard one. I want to see a Z or two around here, otherwise I'm going to start getting nervous. Okay. Box of 357. Badly damaged hunting knife. So immediately you can see the potential for Skalisty. Box of 357 is pretty good on itself. If we can get our hands on a revolver down the line. A little bit cautious by here, because there's a pub just down the other side of those rocks, and if anyone's there, they might hear my big size 10s creeping. We're going over to that taco stand in a second, but look, there are no Zs here, so I am a bit worried now. I'm starting to think, is this the Spaggy server that I've played on off camera, where there is a base actually on this island? And if it is, you know, maybe it'll be fun if we get into a gunfight at the end of a loot video anyway. It'd be nice if I could show you the way I loot Skalisty completely, but at least I've showed you the loot route, how to get you from Electro. Look, there's nothing on there. Sometimes you'll get ammo, a gun. Oh, there is a compass there. Nothing up there. Do you know what? I'm actually going to carry my gun in my hand. I never do that on Skalisty, but I just got a feeling we're not alone. And I want to at least be able to go down fighting, even if we get wrecked by fully geared guys with AKs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put dry shoes on. I'm sure I can hear something. No smoke. The back door's open, suggesting it's empty, but see the way I used these trees there to be able to look into the top windows and bottom window. Let's not assume anything. No one's used the fire recently. There's no ash in there. Peacoat. We've got the sewing kits and everything, so if you wanted to get the better clothing and pimp it up, do so. I'm just not really doing this for a fashion show. I'm doing it more to show you guys the route I take if I get an Electro spawn and I fancy coming over to Skalisty. So I usually just cut across here, because of the reasons I've given you, that I don't feel I'm alone on the island. I'm scanning ahead. If you want a nice quiet place to fish, anywhere down there, you can find some cover. Is a great little spot. And the next thing after that, those two little taco stands, let's call them taco stands from now on, let's just stick with taco stand, and that little wooden pub or lodge is this building. Okay, so again, I'm scanning ahead, I'm looking, can I see movement in the window? I'm looking down to the lighthouse, can I see anyone up on the ridge? Any snipers? you can, if you want, come down here, especially if you've picked up a scope or a rangefinder. And there you go. You can have a look at the beach. See, there's 3 houses down there that we want to loot eventually. Maybe you can see smoke coming from one of them. Maybe you can see someone fishing on the dock. But let's go back to the objective, which is this and then that hunting stand. This is the way I do it anyway. Preference. Do you know what? I'm going to take the helmet because it's pristine and it'll give us some protection. And I'm going to take the quilted jacket because it's in good condition. Gives us a lot more inventory space. It matches our horrifically coloured bag, making life really easy for any snipers, but whatever. And there's a box of Mosin ammo. So box of Mosin ammo, box of 357 so far in terms of firepower, weaponry, if you like, ammo. Not bad. Not bad for a little swim. I didn't time it. Shit. Maybe I can watch this video back and actually figure out how long that swim took. Okay, I was a bit blasé coming up the hill, and we've run into this chap. Oh my god. Got that all wrong. And I have noticed his friends. So we're going to creep up to the ladder. Trying to keep an eye out for anyone who might be here. And now we've got a better hunting knife. So we can ditch that one. Do you know what? I'm going to use that as my weapon. Keep the bone knife for cutting stuff up. The hunting knife is going to put people down quicker. People's, like Zeds, I mean. I haven't tested out much stealth killing in 1.20. I know that the noise is horrendous. They've changed the animation, the audio after the animation. They've made it a lot louder. Oh, fuck's sake. Trying to do an experiment here, son. I hope you got a can of tuna for me. Something to make it worth my while stopping to deal with you. Goddamn fool. Thinking you could take me on, boy? Sucker? Huh? Oh my god. Just die. Okay, so there's actually nothing over there by those ruins. Or there might be a caravan or something a bit further down. I never take that route. I just come over the top here, follow this trail. Remember from the hunting stand we went to. Deal with any Zeds that are in the way. Another chicken there. Now there's a building down here, a red stilted house. And on one of the Spaggy's servers, I don't know whether they've had a wipe or not, on one since the update, but on one of them, last time I played in my free time, off camera, this was based off with a 4-dial code lock. This building, you can see the roof now. So I'm going to pull my gun while we're far enough away from the building. Anyone inside won't hear that. And I'm going to use these bushes as cover to approach. And when we get to a certain angle, there we go, you can see inside. Can't see anything. The zombie there scared the shit out of me. The fact that zombie's chill is a good sign as well. Maybe it has either had a wipe or it wasn't the server I was thinking of. Okay. Someone's had a fire. Someone's dropped a load of shit here as well. Oh my goodness gracious me. Ooh, the fire's still quite warm as well. They were a fisherman. I'm not a fan of the longhorn, so I'm not going to take it. am a fan of shotguns, though. But you know when your gut instincts are proved correct? It's a good feeling. You know, at least you're doing something right. We could end up dying to this person. I mean, if they're leaving a pump-action shotgun with a round just on the floor, what sort of weapons have they got? They're ignoring, you know, longhorns. Okay, that's a preferential thing. I don't particularly like the longhorn. They've done some fishing, so I like their style. You know, they're an experienced enough player to know how to fish and to know how to sustain themselves through fishing. How far behind them are we? There's really only one natural route out of here, and this is the way we're going to take now. If he or she have done the same route that I'm doing, a clockwise action, then they're going to come along this coast, and they're going to hit up the houses and the lighthouse we saw from a distance, top of the ridge. I'd rather go at them with the Scorpion because I've only got one buckshot in the pumpy. Oh, do you know what? I should have taken the handgun scope off the Longhorn and used it to scope in on these buildings, because we're going to have to rely on our own eyesight and the ability to zoom in like this. Oh, imagine we'd got there a little bit earlier and we'd caught them cooking. Then we might have had a chance to do something. Pop a little cheeky headshot. So there's a Z there that's chill. They could have cooked their fish, sorted their loot and logged out. They could end up flanking us if they logged out. Went for an IRL piss break and then decided to come back. We could end up getting crept on. Dry sack if you wanted it. Our food is yellow, so if I was carrying this run on, and I'm repeating myself, I would certainly cook the chicken. And do you know what? I probably would have cooked it back there where there was a fire, because whoever had that fire is very unlikely to return to it once they've left, once they've sorted their loot and decided to go. Why would you go back there? But again, I suppose there is the danger that they might have sorted their loot out, logged off, and then imagine you're in the middle of cooking your chicken and they log back in behind you. That is one of the shit things that can happen in DayZ. Creep into the best of my ability. The rain is helping to muffle our footsteps if there was somebody here. Still. Doors are open though. What it does though, it validates my fears now that we're not going to get very lucky with loot. Ooh, 308. Typical. If you wanted to go back for the Longhorn, now that would be worth doing. Another knife. And of course it's only along the coast. If I was carrying on this run now, beyond Skalisty, and not doing it for a loot route video, oh my god. We are getting serious lag here. I wonder if there's a base over in one of those buildings. Trying to keep an eye on the hills for a sniper. Can't see any movement over there. There's not a lot to loot, see. What if these people done what they got to do? Splitting axe. If I had a sharpening stone, I would probably take that, because it would be a great little zombie killer. Okay, so I check that little house out back there, and then I come to the lighthouse, because stuff can spawn up there, and there's a shed behind it to the back of the island. And is that a burlap sack? I think it's only a burlap sack. Yeah. Shame. I found gun cleaning kits in there before. Would have been nice for the unlock. Okay, so this is dangerous. If someone's camping up the top, then you're just going to get your head blown off and it's the end of your life. But Celebi. I've been up here before and found 2 boxes of Mosin ammo, so from now on it's sort of a habit of mine to search. And what do we get? A hat. Marvellous. Do you know what? I'm going to take the hat. Oh no, I forgot I had this on. I thought I had the red beanie on still. No. We're going to keep the Enduro helmet because it's quite a nice neutral colour, but it also gives us some ballistic protection as well. If somebody shoots us with a 380 or a 9mm or something small, we should be okay to tank it. bigger round, it's still going to knock us the fuck out, so it will kill us. I'm still scanning ahead in case I see someone pop out of one of those buildings. We know the people who had the fire could be close. Are they thorough with the fishing boats? Looks like they are. You can get hunting knives on these. There we go. Scripted. You can get gun cleaning kits, obviously sodas, fishing hooks. This is not going to be the best example, I feel, of what loot you can get, because we just happen to be right behind someone who had that fire. But I hope you can sort of see the potential. You know, we've had a box of 357, a box of Mosin ammo, a few rounds of 308, a longhorn. If you were picking all that stuff up and you're only an hour and 20 into your life and you want to go to Berezino after this, or you want to go inland, you want to make your way up the coast, well, there's a heat pack, we'll take that, could be handy. Again, take the gun out while we're far away from the buildings as possible. The door is open over there, so I really don't think anyone is here. I think they're gone. They either logged out or they left. They swam past and we just missed them. Maybe they went up the coast. They went. The biggest town up the coast now is Solnici, which we've covered in another loot run video. I'm going to take that. Oh no, we're not doing a fashion parade today. Definitely going to take the chlorine tabs. Repeater. Not a huge fan of the repeater, I gotta be honest, but we'll take the ammo out of it. Here's the well. So if you were carrying on your run beyond Skalisty, which I'm not, but if you were, you'd hit up the well. Oh. You know what? Save our blade. I'd use that as a zombie killer. There's another compass for you. Some more chlorine tabs, which are great when you haven't got easy access to a well. You can just fill up your water bottle at any pond, lake, and then purify it. And I'll show you the way I leave now. I'll show you the way we leave. There is a shed at the top by that, you can just see at the top through the trees there, the radio tower. And loot can spawn on top of that radio tower as well, but I've been thrown off it twice to my death just by the DayZ ladder glitch. I haven't tested it since the 1.20 update, and I'm not going to. But feel free. This is going to nicely take us up to a nice little 1.5 hour video by the time I show you the last building to loot. And from that last building you can pretty much see the spot on the beach that we landed on when we swam across. Okay, but I hope you've taken in that I've done a clockwise motion. Now this last building, it takes a little bit of luck to find it, unless you know where you're going exactly. It hugs this side of the coast. This side of the island, sorry. You see there's the electrical, or what do you call it, radio antenna thing is up here. And then when it flattens out, if you just run to the clump of trees in front of us here, keep glancing. If you can see rocks and stuff, okay. There you go. See how you almost find it by chance, but it's right on the far side of the island, away from everything else. It's the last building where you're going to potentially find your loot. Some people miss it completely because they either don't know about it or they just can't be bothered running down here. They just run straight back to the beach, which is where we swam across. The rain has stopped, so I'm... oh, whatever. If someone's here, deal with it. Nope. And again, no loot. So the people who made the fire in that red stilted, God damn you. Another flare there if you wanted it. But you get the idea. It was a poor loot run because we were right behind someone. I've come off this island with a Tundra, with a scope, 2 boxes of 308, 3 boxes of Mosin ammo, hunting knives, hunting jackets, hunting pants. You know, looking like something straight out of the Deer Hunter movie. You know, and if you spawn in Kami, you could be swimming back over, 40 minutes after you've spawned, and you could be geared after 40 minutes. But if you spawn in Electro, it's going to take you a bit longer. Look, it's taken us 1 hour and 25 to be considering swimming back over. But there you go. There's the rocks we swam in between. And you might... it's a bit foggy, but you would just about make out the fishing boats and everything. And there's those little houses where we could go over and dry our clothes and cook our chicken if I was carrying on our run. But we like to have a little recap. Spawned in Electro, and after 1 hour and 26 minutes, we find ourselves with a melee, a shotgun with a shot in it, scorpion, 2 mags, bits and pieces of ammo for stuff we haven't got, quite frankly. M-lock with a full mag, spare, suppressed, a couple of bandages, blade, some of our blood, a bottle. That's going to be our spare. That was our original. Some food, chlorine, another knife, rope and bones. We can fish. Let's put that 357 up there. Got a couple of heat packs, some more bones, stuff to fix shit up with, stack of rags. We've got all this to fix stuff up with. Obviously the chlorine is pretty huge. Batteries, some kindling. I would say 1 hour 25 in, you're in pretty good shape to go and continue your adventure. Alright, the fit isn't great, but I never concentrate on the fit for the purposes of these videos. It's just getting you from A to B, just showing you the way I do it, and hopefully someone will pick up some tips along the way, or just enjoy watching somebody else do a loot run, especially if you do the same run every time, and maybe you picked up a different run from me today. We didn't get into any action. We were clearly on someone's trail. We actually stumbled across their fire and their discarded loot back there on this island, which is quite rare actually, in a low to medium pop server as it was when I jumped on, to find someone over here. But I hope you learned something, or just enjoyed watching, listening to my dulcet Welsh tones. And if you haven't already subbed, maybe you subscribe hitting the sub. See when any of my future videos go up. Working on a new Intens series soon. There's a few problems with Intens after the 1.20 update. There was a bug which meant that you couldn't respawn. So it was pointless starting the Trials of Terry if I can't respawn. And I killed off my last character, Joseph, so I literally do need to respawn. So I'm hoping they fix that next week. But in the UK, IRL, it's going to be, I'm recording this on the 16th of February IRL, so next week for us it's school half term, so I'm not going to be able to get much recording done. So Terry might start making an appearance on YouTube at the end of February. That's what I'm hoping, the last week of February. Onwards, the Trials of Terry, and if you could drop a like, it would mean a lot, only if you do enjoy it. And if you want to drop a comment, any loot runs you would like, tell me what you guys think about Livonia as well. I haven't done a loot run from Chernogorsk yet. I want to do something like Chernogorsk to Zelenogorsk, or Chernogorsk down to Prison Island. But after that, I've sort of covered most of the coastal spawns. Svetlo, Berezino, Solnichi, Nizhny, Kami. We've done Electro today to Skalisty. So Chernogorsk would be a good one, either down west, or, you know, maybe I do a really long one, Chernogorsk, all the way down to West Evac and then up to Zelenogorsk. That would be cool. But then what do you guys think about Livonia? You know, I know most of Livonia like the back of my hand as well, so a couple of loot runs on that maybe, just as some bonus footage, content in between the intense stuff. But we're coming up to 1 hour and a half, so I'm going to love you and leave you, and I appreciate every each and every one of you for dropping by and at least taking the time to check this out. And I'll see you in the next one. See you on the other side, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.